Good afternoon, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for taking this time to have this interview with us today. Tell me what brought you to Total Century Wellness Center.
Well, I was going through a lot of illnesses, unexplained, mysterious illnesses, and I had been to the doctor. I had a pulmonary embolism last year, and the doctors could not tell me where it came from. I've been tested for everything, and everything was negative. They didn't know where it came from, and they put me on Coumadin. And I was on that for about maybe 6 months. And then I had a horrible reaction to it. And then the Coumadin, it interacts with everything you take. And I wasn't feeling very positive being on the Coumadin. And I kept asking them, was there anything natural I could take? The doctors like, no, there's nothing on the market. There's nothing you can take. And a friend of mine said she had knew about a naturopathic physician. So I asked her for the number. But in the meantime, I had started reading this book called Natural Cures. And he recommended going to see a naturopathic physician. And so I said, okay. And when my friend told me she found one in the area, I immediately asked for the number and I called. And I set up an appointment. Also, just before that, I had started eating organic. I decided I was going to do some changes in my life on my own. So that was the first thing. And then the naturopathic physician was second. But it's been a blessing. I feel really blessed to be a part of this.
For those individuals that are not familiar with the pulmonary embolisms, will you elaborate on the severity of what that is and what could have resulted?
A pulmonary embolism is a blood clot that travels to your lung, and for the most part, they're fatal. It took about maybe 9 months for them to discover that I had a blood disorder called protein S deficiency, in which my blood clots too much. About 6 years ago, though, I had another blood disorder in which my blood wouldn't clot at all. That's called ITP. So I went from one extreme to the next. First it wouldn't clot, and I almost bled to death. And then 6 years later, it's clotting too much, and the blood clot is traveling to my lungs. It also could have traveled to my brain, and I could have had a stroke behind it. So they're even though it doesn't seem like, oh, it's just a blood clot, they're fatal. Blood clots they're mysterious and they're fatal. So that's how I got here.
When you use that term mysterious, do you think that it's mysterious in a sense that most practitioners or doctors do not know how to treat it?
Oh, they know how to treat it with pharmaceuticals. And the pharmaceuticals was another problem because I kept having such reaction. I'm like, I don't like being on this Coumadin. It's reactive with everything. Vegetables, juice, food. It's so restrictive. And then I was constantly going back and forth getting my blood tested because you have to customize the Coumadin for what these specified levels for you. It was just really taking its toll on me. I hated being on Coumadin. I was nervous and anxious all the time. It was just a horrible feeling. So when I came here, Dr. Henry put me on a natural blood thinner that doesn't interact with anything. And I love that stuff because it works. And I've told my hematologist about it. She wasn't aware of it, but she said she'd do her homework on it. So, and I've investigated it myself. I'm always on the internet looking to see for clinical trials, and I heard it's been submitted to the FDA, so hopefully that'll get approved.
Yeah, definitely. I would like for you to further elaborate on the types of treatments and protocols that you received here at Total Century Wellness Center. And again, how did they improve you symptom-wise?
Wow, I had so many. One of the first things that happened when we came here was they gave you the questionnaire, which was like 20 pages. And I was like, man, it's really invasive. But I understand why. Because they need to know everything that's wrong with you so they can customize a program to deal with your symptoms. And also I had a bio, I think it was called a bio scan, a biofeed scan.
Biofeed.
And I will admit, I was a little skeptical. I was a little skeptical when I first came here. I'm like, this stuff don't really, what kind of voodoo mess have I gotten myself into? But one thing about me, I'm very open-minded. So I was like, okay, Kim, you went to the regular traditional doctors. They're not working. You need to think outside the box. And I'm glad I did. So one of the things after the bioscan, the results was, she told me that I was allergic to sugar, and I totally wasn't believing that. Totally, it said that I was allergic to iodine, which is like salt. Truly, I understand now, because every time I eat something salty, the fingers and everything swells up. Sugar, I didn't realize I was having an allergic reaction to that, but I was. You know, and when we started going deeper into the program, I realized everything she was telling me was there on point. I also do this treatment called the NAAT, which is an allergy elimination treatment, and it's very unconventional. I was a bit skeptical when she first started doing the NAAT, when she suggested it, you know. But I have to say, when she's finished, when I get cleared for each of the different symptoms or the different allergens that I have, I do see a difference in my body and how I'm feeling. And my blood work has been just fantastic. So my hematologist is like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because it's definitely working. So
that's wonderful. That actually was my last question in terms of testing that has been done, follow-up testing that has been done for your blood, and the progress that was made since coming here to Total Sensory Wellness Center. What advice would you have for others that are in your situation or are experiencing similar conditions?
You know, I've met quite a few people that have similar conditions. Two people, in fact, a co-worker of mine, her husband has the same blood disorder, the protein S deficiency, but he had a stroke. He's like 31, 32 years old. And she started going to a naturopathic physician, taking her husband probably in the last 3 months. And, you know, she was like, I just can't believe I met somebody else that's the same thing that my husband has. And I was like, well, this is what I take. And she took the what I told her about what I'm taking for my blood disorder, and she's taking it back to her naturopathic physician to see if they know about it, so she can get her husband on that regimen as well. And also my best friend, her husband, he had seizures, and he was on Coumadin. And they were introduced to a naturopathic physician in training, and they live in Virginia. So her husband has been going to a naturopathic physician and doing quite well with it. And I believe he's taking that treatments as well there. Yeah, so I passed the word on, and people call me. It's not a week that does not go by that someone either on my job or some friend of mine is calling me up asking me about something natural that they can do for whatever ailment they have. I give them the advice, I give them the number, and I don't know if they take it into consideration, but it's there for them to, you know, the knowledge is there. So I tell anyone who's willing to listen about the naturopathic way of life, because I refuse to take another pharmaceutical, and I don't really need to now since I've been on this program. I used to take pharmacy. I mean, I had a pharmacy in my house. I had Tylenol, Aleve, Midol, Kaopeptate, Pepto-Bismol, and anything I had it. Now I don't take anything. I don't take any pharmaceutical drugs whatsoever, not even Tylenol for a headache. I don't even get headaches like I used to. It's amazing. My life has changed so much.
That's wonderful. Your transformation has been nothing short of amazing, and I want to thank you for taking the time to share your story with the world.
Thank you, mention Kimberly. The weight loss too.
Weight loss is always an added benefit.
Weight loss. I think I lost like 40 pounds since I've been coming here.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you switched totally to organic.
I'm totally organic, and everybody who knows me know it. So we're good with that.
Well, you know what? Now I'll do the ending. The other one was a little bit premature, but we had to get that weight loss in.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
You're welcome.
Okay.